Doubt it.
Alright, stream says I'm live. Okay, time to reissue the links. Because apparently, fuck my technology.
They're saying it's a military news channel, so
So what do you think about that anime?
Huh?
About the
Oh, internet connection problems?
No, I meant about like Donald Trump deploying troops to take care of the riot.
Oh no. Wait, as in like you're sorry it happened?
No. Like I'm just asking, what do you think? You know, like what's your because like you are in the military, you know.
Well, I'm not with my reserve unit at the moment, so I wouldn't say. I'd say yeah, go for it. Send in the military if people are acting like animals.
All right. Okay. Oh, okay. I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on it. Because I was like a bit curious. Yeah. I mean, me personally, like, if they're gonna behave like that, then you have no reason not to send in the military, you know?
Yeah.
I like how social media is going all
No, don't send in the military. Then stop acting like fucking animals, you numpties.
I mean, the rioters did bring it upon themselves, so not really my problem.
Yeah, by the way, are you gonna like delete the messages for the live streams, or are you reissue them, or?
I'm currently reissuing the links to places.
All right. Right, like at the bottom of some of them, hey, we had some problems, so this is the new link. But if you got that covered, then
due to technical difficulty we're facing, we'll be reissuing you a new live stream.
Due to technical difficulties, we have decided to reissue the live stream.
Yeah, by the way, I think we're live.
Yes, we are.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I never knew that an unwired connection from my Wi-Fi booster could actually be of service, unlike last time.
So we're gonna reintroduce ourselves?
Might as well.
Alright. Do you want to go first, DJ?
Yeah, I'll do it. Hi, I'm Mr. DJ Fly High. You may know me from such other live streams, such as this live stream. I'm coming to you from the land down under, and we're facing, and winter is coming.
Alright, live streams reissued. Now I gotta bring back that one video for...
Alright, hi, this is just a fan. You may know me from Rudolph's podcast. And yeah, I am here because insomnia's a bitch and I've got nothing better to do. And so hopefully shit talking Ruby will help me at least get some rest in the night.
And for today's magical topic. I messed it up.
Oh, it's okay, mate. It's okay, mate. I messed up my one too.
You sound like in the middle of do this majestical swan dive and then you just belly flopped it.
Okay, so DJ or just a fan, if either of you could just have the stream on hand for anyone who likes to ask anything, such as basically anything from the live chat. Do you mind doing that and just simply saying whoever said what?
Sure, I can dig that.
Are you gonna do an anime or should I?
Mr. DJ, could you do
are you gonna DJ? Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I meant to say DJ, not you, anime.
Today is a mess.
Hey, everybody hates Monday and Tuesday. Let's put it that way.
Actually, I'm pretty sure people who work like me hate every day we work.
I'm still a bit hyper.
Alright, so for
For
today's...
anyone who... Oh, go on.
Oh, well, for today's magical topic, we're going to be talking world building. And while we discuss world building in Ruby, and how to... and why it sucks and how to improve it, we're also going to use examples from Halo 3 ODST right here, that I'm starting up. And oh boy, Legendary is going to be a bitch. Because the only way to unlock the final audio log is to be on Legendary.
I think you mean, Ruby's Law is gonna be a bitch to get.
Oh no,
wait,
they're both equally a bitch to get through.
There are laws?
Alrighty. So, world building.
Here's the thing with Ruby's world building. They make it up as they go along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One great example is Atlas.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
world of Remnant, we are told it is too cold for the Grim to survive Atlas. It's one of the reasons why Atlas is such a good place and is such a pretty good place to hide from the Grim, because it's so fucking cold, not even the Grim will survive. We get to Volume 7, and what's the...
You cut out there, Josephine.
We get to Volume 7. What's one of the first things we see?
Grim in Atlas, my darling.
And before anyone says, probably adapted to the cold. Okay, then why didn't any of the characters mention that? Why are the Grim here in Atlas? It should be too cold for them to survive. And second of all, if that's the case, why the fuck didn't Salem could outstand the cold before?
Many questions the world building has asked of the actual canon. And then also, of course, we have... Oh, sorry, go on.
And as a result, we get so many hot takes. So many hot takes.
Shall we go with them?
Like, what was the... one was saying, how Ironwood is not a bad guy.
Yeah, that's kind of the sad thing. Ironwood is portrayed as the bad guy, but in reality, he's just a poor guy who ended up with the worst
possible allies.
Yeah, but in terms of world building, I like how they disregarded the whole World of Remnant series. It's just not the World of Remnant didn't exist. Not.
At least they listened.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have my own issues with the World of Remnant, mostly because, it's basically okay, to quote Nazi, Yahtzee, just having videos out and just giving them to the audience and just telling them your world instead of showing it is not good storytelling. You're supposed to weave world building and exposition into the narrative, not hand the audience a fucking glossary as they walk into the
Well, and also to quote Moeller, if I have to unimmerse myself by going out of the game, then what is the point of the game if I have to re-immerse myself after reading something from online that should have been in the game in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's actually an issue I find that a lot of games are having now. So for example, Mortal Kombat, the first few, I think the first chapter is basically essentially after the after Mortal Kombat 9. But then we skip a few, about 20 years or so into the future, 20, 30 years or so into the future, and basically all the characters that were previously remnants are now all of a sudden alive. And we get no exposition into what happened. So for example, in the first chapter, a very big thing was the amulet, Shinnok's amulet.
Yeah.
And basically he's trapped inside of the amulet. Then we get to, I think, chapter 3, and it's oh yeah, oh yeah, Melina has the amulet, and we have and the game never explained as to why she got the amulet.
Well,
Literally, I was like,
Oh.
wait, where the fuck did she get the amulet? And I did not know about that there was like a prequel comic. Like, yeah, this is how Melina got the amulet. Many other.
Yeah, it kind of blew. It kind of left a couple of plot holes in the game. I was like, what?
Yeah, like, you give your audience homework when it should have been within the story itself. It's a problem that games and even movies and shows have a problem with nowadays. They would rather have the audience go buy supplemental materials just to understand the story. Now,
Yeah,
granted, sometimes it has worked in their favor, such as Halo, but again, it only worked for so long until we got Halo 5.
Yeah, because like supplementary material should be material that it gives like a bit like of more things, but it should not be important to the story as a whole. So like, let's say for example, at the end of Avatar: The Last Air, we had our ending, we have our story, and that's that. You don't have to read the comics as to what comes later. I mean, the only thing like anyone kind of reads the comics is because they want to find out what the hell happened to Zuko's mom, because like that's a story that is only explained in the comics. And admittedly, like, you know, I think they should have explained that in the TV show, but in a way it was like kind of the story of the Avatar was kind of wrapped up. The war had ended, and the only lasting plot thread was, of course, where was Zuko's mother, and that is explained in the comic.
Yeah,
however, you do not have to read the comic if you don't want to. Like you only have to read it if you like want to see, oh, what happened to Team Avatar and Zuko and Azula afterwards. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessary to read the comic in order to understand the story as a whole. Like, just what happened to Zuko's mom and why she left. That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgive Avatar for like doing that, because it's like, yeah, the story has kind of ended, and to continue on just for that last pop, I think it would have in some ways damaged the series, you know?
What did you guys thought of the comics though? Like, the Promise was a really weird one. Like, it was cool to see like how Zuko like ruled the Fire Nation, but do we really need it though? Like,
What was that comic about again?
So the Promise was basically Zuko. He promised to Aang, like, if I go the Fire Lord Ozai crazy, and Aang goes like, okay, I promise, begrudgingly, and
yeah, that one. I mean, I don't think it was really necessary, but I think it was trying to show that, like, you know, not only show like Zuko's development, but also like showing us that, like, while he is like our favorite character, because let's all admit it, Zuko is probably our favorite character of all time. Like, you know, he still has his struggles. Like, just because he's Fire Lord does not mean his struggles have gone away. You know?
Yeah, and even so,
struggling as Fire. Yeah.
But yeah, and even so, the show heavily implies that, you know, that Zuko's mom is, you know, dead. Or at the very least, dead? Or at the most, somewhere out there still, and Zuko just wants to find the body to put her body to rest.
Yeah,
and that was good worldbuilding in how they built up Zuko on that one episode when he was alone from Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, Zuko alone, which is like for episodes. Like, it is kind of sad how like the villagers like turn on him immediately when they find out who he is. But in a way, it's kind of to be expected, because, like, you know, he's the son of he is the great grandson of the guy who started all of this. You know, like, in the eyes of the villagers, if the Fire Nation never existed, they wouldn't have to like constantly live day to day.
What's even more crazier is the fact that even after all the damage has. Oh, no, what? No, actually, let me rephrase. What is how the whole story started in the first, like how the whole Fire Lord Ozai and Avatar Roku.
No,
Place.
it was Fire Lord Sozin and
Oh, right. Sorry.
and who was the other guy again?
Avatar Roku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Roku and Ozai's great grandfather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, and the world building of Avatar is so well done. And to hop back onto Rwby, like, the only things we see are not much of the worlds, other than maybe Vale at most, because we've been there for at least a good 3 volumes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
and
then we went to Mistral, and then
But we didn't really get to see much of Mistral, you know. Like,
we technically did. It was just 2D.
yeah.
well, yeah, but I mean, we didn't get to explore because, like, according to the way, the lower you go, the more crime-ridden it is, which is like it's kind of an interesting premise, you know, where it's like the lower classes have are like at the bottom with the upper classes. Very interesting, you know, and having it be to like, oh, there's like this whole crime place where gangs run wild, like seriously, I was excited for this shit. I thought gonna like see gangs like similar to the Krays and the Richardsons, or something like Al Capone, where it's like this big Al Capone is like manipulating things at the scene or like behind the scenes or something. Like that would have been pretty cool to explore, you know.
Yeah.
No?
But unfortunately, we only see the slums when our good friend who does nothing, named well, not necessarily nothing, but like too much of nothing.
Yeah, it's like literally they just never shown it. So it's like so it's like literally it's just the bottom is the slums. There's no crime anywhere. I mean, there could be crime, but we never see it. Like, you know, there's never a scene where like Crow, like he goes for his wallet, and then there's nothing. I got I got robbed or something. You know, like that would have been a great scene. It would have been short, but it would have shown us. Like, you know, it's like, because like in Vale, like the characters like walked around without a care in the world. If you do that in Mistral, then you know you're gonna get fucking robbed. You know, like that would have been a great way to show us the differences between like at the very least the lower level and the parts of Vale. Like in Vale, even if you're like in Mistral, you know.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, and like we don't know anything than what we're told in the world of Remnant. And even then, we can't even trust that because everything said there is immediately contradicted.
Yeah. And we don't
remember the racism.
Oh,
and here's the stupid part as well when it comes to Mistral. We don't even see any of the other students in Mistral. It was just empty school, empty school, empty school. Like, what the heck?
Where's Team Sun? Because Sun's team is meant to be from Mistral, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, it was like the whole volume 1 to 4. The fact that we're gonna have a final showdown type kind of scenario in Mistral. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
I mean, there was a final showdown. It was just fucking.
Yeah, it was a shit show. More like a showdown.
Yeah, it's like honestly.
Guys, just continue talking and entertaining the audience.
Oh yeah, sure.
Alright.
But yeah, but it's like, and it's incredible because like we spend an entire volume in Mistral, you know. In Avatar, I think they spend around the same amount of time, or like more or less. but we know more about Ba Sing Se than we do. Sorry, we like in Avatar, we spend about more or less around the same amount of time in Ba Sing Se, like in Avatar: The Last Airbender. But do you want to know the crucial difference as to how we know so much more about Ba Sing Se and Mistral? Like the difference between the two.
Humor me.
These words. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Ah.
Like, those words right there tell everything the audience needs to know about Ba Sing Se. It might look like a safe haven, but it's no safe haven.
Yeah. And not to mention the whole Judies as well.
Oh yeah, and the Dai Li as well. So we're just
I was gonna say with Rwby, like with the Avatar, there are so many small things in Avatar make a whole lot of difference in the world building in Avatar. That makes it great. Like you said, for example, the Dai Li, the Judies, for example, like there are so many small elements, even that phrasing as well. Like there are so many small elements that makes it awesome to look at when it comes in regards to world building in Avatar. You don't get that here in Rwby.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that apparently, according to Miles, Mistral is meant to be based off of Ba Sing Se, and I'm like, this is not Ba Sing Se. If Mistral was like Ba Sing Se, you would have had Leonardo like basically brainwashing the people into saying there was no fool at Beacon. Or something. Basically, or something like that. He would essentially have brainwashed the people into saying there was no fool at Beacon. Everything is fine. Like imagine an entire student, like the entire school is like the entirety of Mistral. The entire school is brainwashed into thinking there was no fool at Beacon. Like the event at Beacon never happened in their eyes. And
it'd be like,
you can have
then it'd be like Penny's death. Oh, who's Penny again? Oh, that was just some random training dummy that died.
Yeah, like, and you could have had like maybe the criminal classes. There's like because like they're criminal. Like obviously they're not gonna go to like the places where Leonardo says, oh, come here and like I'll give you a meeting or something. Like they know something's up, and so of course like they're criminal because they know something is wrong.
Well, I think that's what I think they sort of done that when with the whole Crow and Oscar finally meeting and going the whole we'll put the cards in our chests, close to our chest kind of approach.
Yeah, but it's like, but there's no real reason as to why they did though, other than like Leo's a bit of a jackass, It's like, aside from that, there is no real reason as to why Crow and Ozpin didn't tell Leo about why Ozpin didn't tell Leo that he was back. But you could have had like them on the road, like riding on the way to Haven Academy, like them talking about what happened in their journey, and like their basic. And when they talk about Beacon and everything, that like everyone is saying, "Oh, you mean the Vital Festival? Yeah, it was great and everything." And they're like, "It wasn't great. There was a big catastrophe." And they're like, "Catastrophe? Everything is fine, And so it kind of gets them, okay, something isn't right, because like the last chapter of Volume 4. Do you want to know what it's titled? No Safe Haven.
Yeah, which is really weird.
Yeah, it's like okay, not only are you essentially spoilering the audience, but you're essentially saying, "Oh yeah, something bad's gonna happen," and it's like, okay, technically we all knew something bad was gonna happen, but it's basically saying, "Oh yeah, you're basically confirming it at this point, Like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, they never hinted at if Ba Sing Se was a terrible place. No, they let the audience themselves discover it through the story of Zuko, Jet, Iroh, and Jet's gang.
Yeah.
Like they didn't spoiler it not until Jet was taken away, and Jet is brainwashed by the words, "There is no war in Ba Sing Se."
Oh, the infamous words. The emperor would like to meet you at Lake Laogai. Lake Laogai. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like that's what Mistral should have been. It's like, if it's really going to be inspired of a Ba Sing Se, like, fucking show it's inspired. Because I'll be honest, I look at Mistral and I look at Ba Sing Se, I see no resemblance. I honestly do not. Like, the only thing for Mistral for me is like bootleg Asian culture. That's it.
Yeah, and even then, Yang, or no, not Yang, but Apura was from Mistral, and yet apparently she was then from Argus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I'm kind of rocky on the whole whether Argus is like part of Mistral or Atlas or something. Like, I really don't like, because like I've been told by some people that Argus is a part of Atlas, and then I've been told by others that Argus is a part of Mistral, and I'm just iffy on the thing.
I think it's technically part of Mistral, but they're gonna. That's how they're chalking it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate how Miles is just trying to compare Mistral to Ba Sing Se, and
Ba Sing Se had more of a culture than Mistral.
No, yeah. Well, in the world of Remnant, if Crow said like, "Oh, there are 3 tiers of culture in Mistral. Like, you've got the wealthy class, then you got the middle class, and then you got the danger class kind of thing." Like here,
yeah, what if...
sorry. Like, I was gonna say, like, but then you don't see that classes in the the only closest thing to a class we see is basically there's a bar in Mistral. Woohoo.
Yeah, a racist bar, because it doesn't allow fun. Speaking of which, remember when Mistral was racist? Neither do the writers.
But the writer, to quote Critical Drinker, but the writers went, "No, it'll be fine."
Yeah, like, okay, like, I kind of somewhat get, okay, I can kind of somewhat buy, Leo being the headmaster of Haven Academy, despite it being a less foreigners-friendly place. Like, you could have Ozpin personally appointed Leo, so then like he could, like, in some ways, like, help, well, in his words, modernize Mistral, you know, make it a more foreigners-friendly place, you know, but have like experience all the racism, like, have it be experienced by one of his like his students or by parents of his students, keep things like that.
Okay, here are some really shitty. Here are some really shitty things I've seen. So someone's posted up the Volume 5 director's commentary notes for Rwby, and here are some interesting ones. Mistral is very Eastern inspired, so they did some paintings early in the episode to show that what the area looks like. The reason why there's no students at Haven is because it's in between semesters right now, so you don't see students at Haven.
Wait, hold on. One quick question. How long has Team Juniper and Team Rwby been traveling?
About 9 months from winter time. So she would have been like...
Yep.
Summertime then.
Yeah. Oh no, I would say like autumn? Or supposed to be
I was gonna
autumn?
say... Yeah, I was gonna say, at the very least, late summer, early autumn, you know? Or fall, because I'm British.
Mm-hmm.
So it would... around late August, early September. Isn't that where school starts? Okay, like maybe... Okay, so like... Okay, Anime, quick question. In America, school starts around September, right? Or is it just a thing here in the UK
very,
where
very
schools
late.
start in September?
Very, very late September, early August. No. Very
Wait,
late,
you guys start
very
in late September?
No, sorry. Late August, early September.
Oh, okay. So it's the same as British. Okay, so it's the same as when British schools start. Very early in September. It's usually at the very least the first week in September. Sometimes the first day of the second week. But it's September. So meaning that technically when Team Ranger arrives, students at the school.
They're supposed to be, but there is not.
Yep.
Bloody hell. This is hurting my brain. Like, actually, do we even know what months are in, wait, no, actually, we do know that they use real world months because Ruby's birthday is August,
No,
is
October 31st.
October 31st, Halloween. So they do have real world months.
Yeah, they do. But unfortunately, at most we could guess some of them. Of where they're at. Because they don't give an exact date. Wait, what was that, DJ?
Oh. Bloody hell. Did he? Check or anything? Do they not? Oh, hey. Sorry. I was just asking, do these people not think at all?
Nope.
Do they not double check? Do they not triple check? Do they not check at all?
I think the QA doesn't exist in Rooster Teeth.
Bloody hell. Oh. And we've barely started and my brain is already beginning to hurt.
I mean, yeah. And let's just say, like, and I'll bring this up. Much earlier in the stream, when I booted up ODST, like, you see dead bodies, you see blood everywhere, and then you also see some graffiti. Some of them was glass this, or go home covenant, or UNSC equals liars. And then also there's Remember Reach, which is a reference to the book, The Fall of Reach.
Ah.
But for the most part, but because Reach was one of the most influential planets of the UNSC military, but it did not end well.
Oh, it ended up getting destroyed.
It got destroyed by the Covenant.
Ah. Okay, so we could have had like graffitis like that in Mistral, except it's about the Forest. You know, like peace is a lie, or Lionheart's headmaster equals devil or something like that.
Yeah.
Like animal, like shit.
Like what I'm looking at right now is what now piece of graffiti that's in a building over a place called Thierry Plaza, which will go into the next mission. And currently the objective is to find your teammates by searching for objects in the world, such as an object I'm about to look at right now is a helmet known as Recon. And one of the things, very subtle things about this piece is that when you go through the landscape, you keep hearing the superintendents or the city AI direct you to safer places, and right here, the AI is trying to tell you, hey, come look at this, because the minute I grab this and go complete the next mission, you will find out that it is no longer saying that, but rather either something different, or it's gonna be a black screen.
Oh, okay.
Like, that is subtle world building of the AI or a Covenant's alien known as an engineer is being very subtle with the world building.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that is pretty good world building. Like, even if it's just graffiti, it shows you what is the situation. Like, because like graffiti can tell like a million things, you know. Because like of course graffiti can be used in riots, graffiti can be used in art. So for example, there's this very one infamous graffiti artist here in London, and like all this graffiti art is like, admittedly it's very simple, but with that art, like it tells a million, like it gives a very, very heartwarming message most of the time. So
You cut out there, just a fan.
I think he did a piece of art after the Grenfell fire. A quick question before we continue. Do you know what the Grenfell fire is?
No, I do not, and you keep cutting in and out.
Oh. Basically, the Grenfell fire, there was this block of flats called Grenfell, and which was, I believe, Chelsea and Kingston. 20th floor, I believe? 24th, a fire erupted. And by the time the firefighter crew arrived, it had already spread up to the 60th. It had already spread up to, I believe, the 40th. And it just continued going up until the top floor, and it essentially burned to the ground. Well, I say to the ground, it was still standing by the time. And it happened, well, actually, this year is going to be the 3rd anniversary of it, actually. And I remember it very, very well because I just finished my history test and I was staying up late because I didn't have any school the next day. And of course, my brother comes running down saying, "Hey, turn on the news, turn on the news." And I'm like, okay. News. And then the first image I see is Grenfell, like the side of Grenfell on fire, you know? And it was very scary because like I live in an apartment. I still live in the same apartment, so like it was very scary, you know. But the guy, he basically did a memorial piece essentially, where it was like he drew his very simplistic art, and it was basically a bunch of them like looking at the burnt ashes of Grenfell. Very heartwarming, but also very sad.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I was like, and it caused a lot of outrage because it turned out that the cladding on Grenfell, which was because like the tower that Grenfell was a part of, it was in a borough it's mostly middle class people who are living there. But the tower was built during a time where that area, it still belonged to the working class. And so people wanted to make it look pretty, if you get what I mean. And so put on this cladding, which was very, very flammable, which is why the fire spread so quick. But yeah, but it was a very hard day for everyone, really. And the third anniversary will be coming this year, so yeah, quite hard. Shit. I probably I probably made this a little bit more emotional than it needed to.
But
But
yeah,
speaking of world building, there was another thing I want to add in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, with the world building, there is not much like emotion with the whole world building aspect as well.
Oh
It
yeah.
just felt dry. Like, yeah, that's what happened in Ruby. Like in like you don't see like the sense of awe and sense of wonder. Like when you see like passing, say for example, it's like, oh, this is a cool city. Like you see when you go to Ruby, it's just like, what? What's that? Like it just looks dry. Like there's no vibrancy whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you know, like the voice actress for Ruby tries to like make her seem like it's like and no offense to the voice actress, but it feels fake. Like no offense to the voice actress, because like I know she's trying to
do her best.
Oh, you're saying anime?
I mean, like, I was trying to say, like she, like, no offense, like, just when I was trying to say no offense to, the, Ruby's VA, but, like, it, but something.
like no offense to the voice actress, but it feels really fake. Like it's so obvious that it's fake. Like, it's so obvious that really it doesn't feel real, you know.
The world building.
I think
Oh boy.
yeah.
Discord's being a thing again. I couldn't hear what you said.
It's hit and miss. Like sometimes you get the whole or the like it's just dry. Like you've seen it before, but it's done better kind of thing.
Yeah, when it comes to world building, yeah.
Yeah. When it comes, they always do cheap grabs of nostalgia from other shows and put it into Ruby as well.
You cut out the
Well-
That's insane.
or you both cut out.
Oh,
You were
as
doing it
a
quite a lot.
must be your internet, man. Your internet's getting more shitter.
Don't remind me about it. I don't know why it decided
Yeah,
to do
I-
it this day.
Like with grab every other thing from other and paste it into Ruby.
Oh yeah, but about that stuff.
Like you want to say by passing set.
Yeah, like I was. Say, but it didn't feel like it.
What on earth is? Damn it! I couldn't hear
Like
you.
it feels like
again.
miles. Oh, for God's sakes! You're in.
You're into that
so-
shit anyway. You're into that shit.
Miles said that that but that because like you know it was a good place that was set up in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Bless
Sorry.
you.
Yeah, it really does feel like he just said it from, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why they just try to hide the fact that they're not doing much. And, like, we get very, very little world building. And even in Volume 7, there is very little. Like, sure, you saw graffiti, but there was really not much impact with whatever graffiti was there.
Yeah, like, there's no, like, riots breaking out, like, you know, there's not, like, there's a...
You cut out again, just a fan.
like, things, you know. And yeah, that can sometimes be good, you know, like blink and you'll miss it references. Like that's sometimes good, but only if like you've already built. No.
Oh, for God's sake! Why is Discord just cutting you guys off?
Ask the audience to see if they can hear us just fine.
Yeah. Well, at this moment, no one's watching. Somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh well. But we should probably just continue on. The show must go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, in terms of world building, the other annoying part is, as I said, like they always copy paste from other anime. Like, isn't it bad in terms of writing if you were to do that though?
Yeah, like it is. Like it's alright to like be influenced by some things. So like for example, Game of Thrones author, George R. R. Martin, like, he based a lot of Westeros off of England, you know, and it takes because like Game of Thrones is kind of meant to like be because like Game of Thrones was influenced by the War of the Roses, and if you're British like me, then the War of the Roses is very, very infamous. Because like it was basically two houses, the House of Lancaster and the House of basically battling for dominance over the British Crown, essentially.
It's classified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so it's okay to be influenced by like certain towns or certain events, you know, that's fine, because you know, because like, you know, you need inspiration to create stories, to create art, like even the greatest of artists will always like have a reference of some, you know, like even me, like I need to find art references so then I can actually create my art, but like if you're just like straight ripping off, it's like, come on. Like there's a difference between having two places be similar and just ripping it off, you know?
Yeah.
Which RT seems to have a habit of doing.
And it's even with not even with good execution.
Yeah, like if you're gonna rip it off, at the very least rip it off well, you know? So what are your thoughts, Anime?
I think, well, I'm sorry, what was the last part you cut out again, because, you know, my internet's being a bitch.
You need to get a better internet plan.
We have a premium internet plan, but like it's as if all of my tech does not want to work.
Okay, so basically, I was saying that that like it's okay to be inspired off events or places, you know, like you're gonna get it somewhere, you know. But if you're gonna rip off something, at the very least do it well, you know. Or at the very least say this place is heavily awful, you know.
Yeah. And the other annoying part about with world building in that with Ruby, I've also noticed it. They also try to implement real world events and stuff into. For example, my favorite example with this would be Argus. If you look at Argus City, it's just dead set by to a T, California.
Oh yeah, San Diego.
Yeah, especially the tram and the hill.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't make sense because, like, August, if it's meant to be a mission, why is it then, like, why culture inspired, you know? Or at the very least, there should be, like, kind of a mishmash between Atlas culture and Mistral's culture, you know? Like, at the very least, you know? Because, like, of course, like, with August being, like, kind of like a military, like Atlas having a military base in like in August.
Like, if they wanted to straight up rip off San Diego, like, the next best thing they could have done was just turn the Argus base into some sort of military boot camp center, like MCRD San Diego.
Anime?
Yeah.
Anime? No, you cut off there.
God damn it. Anyways, what I was saying was that if they really wanted to, like, rip off San Diego further, like, why not just make Argus's little base actual training base? Because if you ever go to San Diego, there's a place called MCRD San Diego, or Marine Corps Recruit Depot, and that's where all recruits that go to Marine Corps boot camp go to on the West Coast.
Ah, okay.
But even then, Argus is not even a base per se. It's like, I would say an embassy? But even yet, that's a stretch. Because, like, if we notice anything, or because apparently people go into the base for diplomatic shit, but we rarely see that.
Yeah, like it looks more like a military base if you ask me.
Yeah, like a very small, insignificant one that's at most maybe a camp, or what would be considered a camp.
Yeah. Yeah, which kind of gets me a little. Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering, like, if that's the case, why aren't there like any Legion families who are like staying in August? Because, anime, you're in the military, but like, don't they have to move quite a bit whenever like, a member of the family is like stationed at like a military base or something?
It would have to be over 6 months in order to be able to have family housing. If it's over 6 months, then the family has to stay where they are, or they have to move in with their in-laws.
All right. Okay, yeah, because I hear a lot of stories of like, oh, you know, families having to move, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty common if you go into the military as a career, but if you also have a family too, because like say if my little brother had a girlfriend and married her, and then he has to move, and he's stationed in Camp Pendleton. He would his girlfriend and his quote-unquote girlfriend, and as well as possible future spouse, would move in with him, but it would be with base housing.
All right.
But yeah, it's quite
Okay.
common when military members
Okay,
have a
but
family. But it has to be
Alright.
at the very least over 6 months. If it's at 6 months, then it's not considered. Then you cannot move with your family.
Alright.
Like-
Okay.
Cause yeah, like with my when I was young and my dad was in the Marine Corps, he went to Okinawa for 6 months. It's because it
Oh,
was
so he
just
was in Japan for a while.
yeah, and because he was only there for 6 months, he was not required to take us with him. So we stayed with my grandmother. Now, when it came to when it came to when it came to 29 Palms, we did actually move with him because that's where he was for a better part of 3 years of most of his Marine Corps career.
Okay.
Oh shit.
What?
I got a hunter decided to go into an enclosed space and bash me with his shield.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not good.
No, it is not. And because it's on legendary, I am fucked.
Oh. but like I'm kind of but yeah, when I first saw August, like I was kind of like weirded out a bit because it's like, you
It's
know,
not a big
it's
enough
kind of meant
base.
to be. Well, yeah, there's kind of that. I expected a military base to be bigger, but like, you know, I would kind of think that August would kind of be like a place where Atlas and Mistral culture kind of like, oh, they're like in a mishmash, if you get what. Because like you have the families of the military men or women like being stationed there, like having to stay there for a while, or at the very least until, you know, their service is done there. And then you have, of course, the Mistral natives, you know, who were, of course, Asian inspired. And yet it was based off of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That was always just very weird to me. Like maybe I don't know, because like again, I don't have like the only person I have that's in the military like is in Colombia, and they don't really have many military bases. So you know,
Yeah.
whereas like, you know, in America, you like, I believe you guys have quite a few military bases around the world. I think you even have one in Japan.
Yeah. That's Okinawa.
Yeah. Yeah, so like again, maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass, you know, out of my ass.
No, you're quite right to assume that military members would move in with their families onto different bases. But it just really depends on how long their deployment is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an interesting. It might be a hot take or two, but do you reckon with the whole with Pyrrha, you reckon that was the same? That's the same case. Be military woman, and her mom's just living in Argus. Oh yeah.
That would really depend, in all honesty. Because, like, remember, Pyrrha was not in the Atlas military. She was a part of she was from Mistral.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, although I find it a bit weird that she like in Greek armor, you know?
Yeah.
Although it's pretty fun. I don't know whether you guys have heard of a YouTuber named Theoretical Artist. Good YouTuber, by the way. He talked in great detail about volume 6 and how that whole meeting between Jean and the red-headed woman, that it basically retconned her entire character.
Oh yeah, because it's like her mom was like, she kind of got to be this perfect girl, wasn't she?
Nah, she was basically like, oh, she was loved and protected by everyone. She didn't have a choice. She wanted to go down fighting.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no,
I
it wasn't.
like, if Pyrrha like had like a piece of the maiden powers still within her, and like Cinder didn't have like all of it, then maybe you can make that argument because like Cinder's gonna be chasing after, and like so she sends Jean away to kind of protect him, and she knows she's like, okay, I have a bit of the maiden powers inside me. Maybe it'll be enough to defeat Cinder. Of course, it's not, and she ends up dying. Like,
Yeah.
that would have been, at the very least, a good reason as to why she had to go down fighting.
And it would make more sense.
Yeah, like, you could have had Cinder, like, try and get, like, essentially coming, like, okay, I think we're safe. Boom, Cinder, like, jumps out of the fucking, out of the fucking beacon tower, and, like, basically comes to Kira, and she's like, why are you after me? And she's like, because you still have a bit of the maiden power in you. It's not all of it. Like, I don't have it all. I want it all. Because, like, Cinder's obsessed with power. That's, like, a good way to show it. Like, she has, basically, most of the maiden powers, but it's still not enough for her. Like, she wants everything. Like, she wants all of the maiden powers.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have, like,
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. And speaking of maiden powers, that also maidens and maiden powers, that also like hindered the whole world building aspect as well.
Yeah, because it's just like maidens out of nowhere.
And what could maidens do? Who the fuck knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, it makes no sense. Like, everything just makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like, oh, magic doesn't exist. Wait a minute, magic does exist. It's like, what the fuck? And the worst part is that there is no difference between magic and semblances. Because like, realistically, like semblances are just magic. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna use another anime series as an example. So, for example, a certain scientific certain magical index series. Like in the series, there are two power systems: those that are controlled by magic and those that are controlled by science. And there, you both in the series, you get a very good difference between what science is and what magic is.
Yeah. Like, it puts
Like,
limitations
it's
on
very-
both items.
Yeah. Yeah, like, basically, those who have scientific abilities are basically called espers, And you have characters like Misaka Mikoto, an accelerator, my favorite character, by the way, like, basically being on the science, like scientific power. Meanwhile, the main character, Toma, his powers seem to be more entrenched in magic. Or at least that it's in magic. But even characters like Accelerator, they are hinted to have magical abilities. With Accelerator, it's a bit vague, but it seems that way. Again, I haven't read all the light novels yet, so I might be wrong. But yeah, it basically shows the audience two power systems and gives clear differences on which one is which. Something that Rwby fails to do.
Yeah. Oh, and I would like to add, on the next mission in the New Mombasa streets is going to be important because I'm going to go down into a section in one of the areas to pick up something that's going to also reveal a bit of world building, but within the actual game. Now, you have all heard me talk about audio logs for a while, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. So, have you guys ever heard of a guy called Actman?
No, I don't follow the Halo series. Sorry.
No, Ackman is a YouTuber, but he does so he does do YouTube's. So he does do Halo reviews, but in one of his reviews, he mentions the fact that there's audio logs in ODST to help world build with how New Mombasa could have looked like if the Covenant hadn't invaded. And then you see everything go to hell within the audio logs as well. And you can either listen to it, or you can go into your helmet system, and you can watch what is essentially a moving graphic novel with several characters about what happened in New Mombasa.
Ah, okay.
As the Covenant invasion happened. And it centers around this civilian woman trying to enlist into the UNSC, but the AI is kind of a bit overprotective of her.
Okay. And I'm guessing that kind of screws them both over in the end or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the minute the AI stops a train that she's on, the Covenant start invading.
Oh.
And the superintendent is trying to, or the AI of the city is trying to get everything out of here. Or out of New Mombasa at orders of its creator.
But it doesn't succeed.
Oh no, it does succeed with help from a local police officer.
Oh, okay.
And spoilers to those who haven't played Halo 3 ODST, despite the fact it's basically nearly a 10-year-old game.
Anime?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh,
Did I
yeah.
cut out?
Oh, what are the spoilers? No, I was just gonna ask, what are the spoilers?
Oh, so... so in Halo 3 ODST, you play as a squad of ODSTs that are basically human special forces, and they drop into New Mombasa at the very end of one of the missions of Halo 2, and during your playthrough, you go through New Mombasa on Earth.
Oh, okay. Alright. See? Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good atmospheric game that I very very much like playing. Sometimes when I just want to be immersed as a regular human rather than a super soldier.
Yeah, I can see why you like the series. Going back to Rwby and how bad its world building is, yeah, the maidens really do fuck over the world building in Rwby.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it feels like they were trying to cram in every single fantasy element as possible. You know, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. And they also try to add in as we were also discussing, like we're not only talking about fantasy element, the real world issues into the problem. They also try to add in more characters as well into the world building aspect. Like we were talking earlier on maidens. We also forgot we forgot the biggest one, which is the white.
Oh yeah, the White Fang. Poor White Fang. Like they had so much potential, but they ended up wandering them over for just an abusive relationship story. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind relationship storylines, but where there's an abusive partner involved. I don't mind it, you know. But it's don't do it in a fucking story that's about racism. Do it for a separate character. Hell, you could have done it with I don't know, maybe I don't know, maybe Weiss's storyline, you know? Have maybe hell, even Winter. Maybe a good reason why Weiss and Winter don't talk is maybe
You cut out again.
So then, because not to try and take over the SDC, because well, she's a huntress and she's going to be working she's going to be on missions every fucking week, but because she wants to kill the abusive bastard. Like, that would have been a pretty, yeah, like, I'm just looking out of my ass at this point.
But yeah, like I agree with you. Like they changed a lot of the aspect, a lot of the groups that were famous in world building to fit a very different. Like Fang, for example, you're right, and they even changed the Atlas military from like this organization that was meant to world at peace to a bunch of authoritarians that want to copy Orange Man bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, don't get me wrong, like, with the Atlas military,
You guys cut
where
out
he
again.
essentially... Oh, for fuck. At what part did we cut out?
I do not know, and I'm trying to get
I think-
this thing to work so I can show you guys the audio log, but for some reason it won't work.
Maybe your
He's saying
internet's
stream
like,
pause.
enough. It keeps on... I bet your internet's like, enough, you're punishing me enough with this fucking live stream. He had full capacity, man. I can't fucking work anymore. Oh,
All
that's
right.
terrible.
Do you see it now?
Hold on, let me quickly just enter the stream. Yeah, I see the stream now.
Yeah.
All right. So, see the area where I am,
Kinda.
or
I
do you
can
see where I
kinda
am?
hear. Yeah, just fire a bullet or something.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I can hear the audio. Sorry, I had to put it on mute. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
It wasn't your fault. It was my fault.
Wow. Cool. Woohoo! Free money.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. When was the last time money was actually useful in Rwby?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And no, Uncle Crow Pay does not count before you.
Oh, it was only useful in Volume 3 when Weiss had when Weiss's storyline was in.
Anyways,
Which didn't really happen.
yeah. This is the audio log.
Mombasa welcomes you, anxious, stressed. Please remain calm. Control circuits now open. With pride.
No subs?
Yeah, there's subs.
Oh, good, okay.
Okay, because you kind of keep on.
Yeah, what's with the flickering?
That could be just the slides going through.
Huh.
No, scrap that. Traceable, damn it. Coins. Need coins.
Who uses coins in this day and age?
Oh, let's go. Wait! Hold the doors, please! That was close.
Hold the door.
They'll never hold the door if you're on the tube.
And again, you can find these in the game, and they're optional if you want more world building.
Yeah, but
And
they're
he-
not like crucial to but they're not like crucial to like
The main-
knowing about the story. Like it's not like a crucial
Yeah.
element.
Yeah, it's a side story. It's a side story
Yeah.
that reveals like what the civilians were doing at the time before the invasion.
Alright. So it's
Yeah.
it's kind of there like for for people who like care about like this and like want to know more about the world as a whole. So
Yeah.
it's like that's mental material should be. It shouldn't be like you shouldn't have a for for shit that should be in a game or in the series. So, for example, probably people are gonna hate me for this, but like before the game came out,
I couldn't hear the game you tried referencing.
Sonic Forces.
Oh, Sonic Forces.
Yeah, like that comic issues come out before the game starts. The game, and it was basically little side stories that basically, like, it was basically well, I put side stories in big quotation. Basically told us everything we needed to know, like, in the game. So, for example, how did Eggman get the Phantom Ruby? How did meet Infinite? How did Silver come back from the past? Like, questions that we need that should have been answered instead of answered in a comic. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I sort of understand why they did this. It was kind of like at the time Sonic had just, like, the Sonic comic series had just been, like, this rights were been given to IDW, and so they wanted to kind of start to do it. But at the same time, it's like it should be like little side stories, you know, like maybe have it be like, oh, Shadow's on a mission with Team Dark or something, or, you know, Sonic's having a day off or something like that. It shouldn't be things that it shouldn't be important answers to questions that should be in the game, you know?
Yeah, and a piece of world building that I couldn't get the camera to view of was that these enemies called the Brutes, they're a part of the Covenant. They had just strapped a bomb to a creature known as the Engineers. The Engineers are essentially slaves to the Covenant to fix their tech and stuff, which is sad. And if I could have gotten the camera into view of it, you could have just seen how this defenseless creature was just had a bomb strapped to him as if he was a suicide bomber.
Shit, that's pretty dark. That is like pretty fucking dark, you know?
Yeah, it is. Or actually, we might see it again. Because I just died.
Oh, did you just get killed? Oh, shit.
Well, that thing just committed suicide because its brute handlers I just killed.
Ah, okay. But yeah, but like...
Small stuff like that helps with world building and immersion.
Yeah, but Ruby does not have that. Like, when... series like Full Metal Alchemist or you know, where I completely forget that I'm watching a show. Like, I legit forget I'm watching a show. Like, I forget that, oh, this isn't the real world. Like, I'm so immersed. I'm like, by the time the episode finishes, I'm like, whoa, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem as well. Like, the problem as well is with Ruby, is that once you get you get immersed as well. You get too immersed when they start sprouting out pseudo-intellectual idiocy, like, oh, whether killing this guy was good or not. Like Yang and Blake, for example, like killing. They're trying to make themselves sound complex, but in actuality, they're not.
Yeah, they're not, like, it's not complex, you know? Like, because, like, they try to make it sound complex, like, oh, we killed Adam, like, you know, we shouldn't have killed him, or something like that. But, like, in the show, he's portrayed as, like, essentially Blake Stalker, you know? So this whole black and white blur. At least not for me, at least. It's like, you know, because, like, at least with Aang, like, when he was basically told by everyone, you have to kill the Fire Lord, you know, at least there was a reason for that. Like, while the Fire Lord was an evil, you know, shithead that needed to be put down, like, Aang's way of life was basically that of a pacifist, you know?
Yeah.
In the wiki, like, it even states that airbending, like, you know, does not have moves. Like, it's more built around, you know, than offense, which is completely in contrast to how firebenders do it. It's more offense than, you know,
Yeah.
like, and like Yang's way of life, it shows with his bending, because like I said before, airbending does not have many, you know, insta kill moves, you know, or at least ones that he was like as devastating as, let's say, literally lightning bending your opponents like firebenders can do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when Aang was like given like, oh hey, you have to kill the Fire Lord, like he kept on going to each avatar basically wanting his, you know, his point of view to be justified, but everyone is like, no man, you have to kill the Fire Lord. Even the previous Airbender avatar, like even she chastises Aang for like his selfish morality and is like, no, this is something you have to do. Like, I would have liked the show to have really like have Aang like, you know, have to like compromise his morals and everything, like, and be like, oh, it would have been a great way to end his arc. But at the same time, I can kind of understand why they didn't do it. You know? Like, you know, it's like it would have been great, like if that was the end to his story arc, where it's like, you know, where like he learns that
Yeah.
Safer by sucking out Ozai's bending ability, because that's somehow better than killing.
I mean, it's basically taken away. I mean, like, to be fair, like, in a way,
Yeah.
because, like, essentially, Ozai, all he cares about is power, you know? And of course, like, that is best shown, like, in his two children. Like, he loves Azula because she's powerful. He hates Zuko because he's weak, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and he's weak in his eyes.
Yeah, but the thing with Ozai, he still has the power of words. He's basically he's basically Aizen at this point. Like, what happened to Aizen in Bleach? Like, oh yeah, your powers are all taken away, but you'll still live. And in the final manga arc, spoilers, he's still witty enough to manipulate people.
Yeah, although to be fair to Aizen, like, they can't really kill him. That's the only reason he's even alive.
Yeah.
Like the thing that he the Hugoka, oh fuck, I can't pronounce the fucking thing. So like, if anyone has a pronunciation in below, please tell me. But basically, the thing, it made him immortal, and that's the reason why they can't like kill him. Essentially. But yeah, but like with Ozai, like, while I can somewhat understand, like, while I would have liked, you know, them to like Aang to have killed the Fire Lord to like have completed his arc, like in some ways, like for Fire Lord Ozai, like him essentially being alive without his firebending is kind of a punishment that's even worse than death in some way. Because like he's prideful of his power and of his bending ability, and to have that just stripped away, for him, it's probably worse than being killed. Because at least he could be killed while having his, like, have kind of the chops to say that, hey, I battled the Avatar to the death or something, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he can't even do like a basic fireball. Like, even his son Zuko, like, even the son he hated, Zuko, even, like, he has more power than him, you know, and berated for being weak. Like, the son he essentially, to, like, show him respect and show is, now he's stronger than him. He has no power, well, in Ozai's eyes anyway.
But yeah. Yeah, it's just said that this type of warboating couldn't have been done in Rwby.
Yeah, it's just like so like okay, I understand writing a story is not easy. I get it. I've written stories that I will never ever release to like fanfic.net or anything because like I don't like because like while I like writing, I don't think I'm a very good writer, you know? Like, and I can admit that freely, you know? I have no shame in that.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
we're not good
Oh,
writers, yet we can
oh.
still see the problem that we
Yeah,
see with our
and
writing, seeing them do the same thing. It's like, guys, you guys are supposed to be professional writers. How is it that you're making, like, fanfiction writer level mistakes?
Yeah, they said they like. Here's the stupid part with all the writers in regards to Rooster Teeth. Like even with Miles and Kerry, like from volume 4 onwards, they were supposed to like they always say on the panels and stuff. Oh yeah, we're gonna be exploring aura and all these elements. And then when you see the show, like nah, we don't even do that. Even volume 7 when they had the change of writers. Well, it's not really a change of writers. The additional writers they didn't really emphasis on aura and stuff like that, like they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Scratch that. Hell just came here.
Holy shit. So that was like the thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, when the train stops, she's trying to communicate with Virgil, or aka the AI, and trying to get him to get the train going, and then the Covenant just show up out of nowhere. And that's at the point of where Halo 2 starts.
Okay, quick question. Why did he stop?
Why do you what?
Oh,
You keep cutting
why
in now.
did Virgil stop the train?
He's trying to prevent Sadie, he's trying to prevent Sadie, his creator's daughter, from enlisting into the UNSC because of the Covenant. The UNSC military has been battered and beaten for the most part of 30 years. And they've been losing hundreds of worlds to the Covenant. Because it was a holy crusade, as the Prophet of Regret would say.
Oh, okay. And like, of course, Sadie is
Trying to enlist.
basically, yeah, because like she feels like she has to because of like pride and country and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm guessing Daddy Dearest is like, nope, nope, and nope.
Yeah, he like whenever her like later on when we see through the audio logs, Virgil, when her father wasn't around because of his job, it was Virgil that took care of her.
Aww, that's.
And right now,
Maybe it's just because like I'm a
I'm sorry, what?
Virgil from Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it's not a Virgil from.
So that's what he was doing while he was neglected.
Now I gotta get rid of these guys because they're just gonna be my way to the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy.
And like,
Oh
I'm
boy.
guessing.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh, there it is.
Run, criminal!
Oh no! No! So
Bye.
close.
And he died. But yeah, but like, I'm guessing CD does not meet a pleasant end in.
Oh no, she actually does meet a pleasant end.
Oh.
She
Shit.
and the police officer that helps her out leave the city.
Okay. And like, does Virgil like join her or?
No, he is stuck in the city. The city data hive, where you meet another police officer. Unfortunately, he's not on your side.
The police officer or Virgil?
The police officer that accompanies you into the data hive, which is like in the next one.
So, like, is Virgil, like, taken over by the,
He was a civilian made AI.
Oh, okay.
He's not built for the purpose of military spec. He's not built as a military
Okay,
AI.
so Jarvis.
So his essential
Well,
job
not
is
from Iron
to make sure that the
Man.
city runs smoothly.
Based Jarvis off of, like, his old butler that used to take in.
Okay, so a big lore dump to any Halo fans out there, as well as spoilers to the Fall of Reach. In the terms of the Halo universe, the AIs are built from human minds because a doctor called Halsey, or no, so way back when, before the events of Halo, Doctor, the ability to create AIs from human brains was made. So, and using that technology, that's how smart AIs like Virgil and Cortana are made. They scan the brains, and then whatever personality that that host brain had is what the brain gives. And then whether or not they're built to military spec or civilian city spec is just entirely dependent on what the donor of the brain has said for their brain AI to be used for. Does that make sense?
Should we talk about how world building also affects?
I'm sorry, what was that? DJ, you cut out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So like, for example, none of the characters like think to blend in by like wearing more Asian outfits. Like, I think the only one who does is Red, but that's only because like he's from. Like it would basically be the equivalent of like, going like, it's basically like easy to tell that they're tourists, And holy shit.
Yeah, it's they both. The funny thing is, they act like a couple of most of Ranger act like a couple of tourists from Bernie Dorm.
Can you hear me? I got my chatter, but I'm off the train in Old Mombasa, and
No pardon. Violators will be ticketed and
I can hanging around the city center.
Even in the time of apocalypse, you still have to pay your ticket at the train station.
Sorry.
Yep.
Hey, watch it, mister.
Please state your destination.
Virgil, give me eyes on Dad, quick.
I'm sorry. I don't recognize that session.
Sadie, where are you?
Train station, Old Mombasa. Dad, there's a ship.
Listen, sweetheart. I wanted to tell you at breakfast, but you left so early. You know my latest project, the seismic survey for the new construction downtown.
Dad,
Well,
there's a
Virgil found
Covenant
something
ship.
under the city. I've never seen anything like it.
Dad, Covenant are attacking the city. Do you hear what I'm saying? You've got to get out of there.
Don't worry. I'm 9 levels underground, and I built Virgil's data center to be very, very secure.
Fine, then I'll come to you.
No, absolutely not. Stay exactly where you are. I'll have Virgil.
Sorry, Dad. There's something wrong.
Ah, yes.
Video connection.
Tough. Virgil,
Well,
get
tough.
that train going in reverse.
Sadie in Desha, I will not allow you to put yourself in danger. What's that noise?
Uh-oh. Incoming.
I mean, she's already in danger, so it kind of screwed their dad.
Yeah.
But I love how he tells her to stay there, but it's like, I would have loved it if she said, "Oh, I would love to, Daddy, but unfortunately, there is a fucking Covenant ship that is shooting out bloody lasers. I think I'm going to go to you where she's safe."
Well, actually, the well,
Terrible. Anyone who's listening, I am so sorry for that terrible accent. That is the first time I've ever done an African accent.
well,
Really weird, despite the fact that I have like a ton of Africans living.
Well,
Like,
in any
we're gonna hell for this. We're gonna go to hell for this.
I'm already going to hell. I'm Colombian. We automatically go to hell.
well, yeah, like, but yeah, this is stuff that is wonderfully done, and like a lot of effort is done to give this off, and yet, well, you know, Ruby just
Oh yeah,
feels like
so
it has
the
no
use-
effort.
Yeah, here's an interesting topic we can talk about: the use of scrolls in world building. You reckon they aid the
Yeah.
world building, or they just hindered the world building a lot?
I think it hinders the world building. You want to know why? Because of one scene,
Which one?
the election scene. You're scrolled, you fucking idiot! Fucking use them, you numpties! Fucking muppet!
Yeah. Interesting with the scroll. They're supposed to help you out in going around, but they don't do shit.
Yeah, it's like Team Juniper, or sorry, Team Ranger, they have to rely on the map. And then you have your scrolls, do they do maps on that thing?
I think it's because one of the towers got knocked down, so that's why technology is so limited. Although,
But yeah, but like it disable, or like I understand disabling communications, like as stupid as it is, I understand that, but disabling G. Like, and then of course you had in volume 5 like Renault like basically telling Weiss that like, oh hey, we're going to like order you for ransom, we're gonna basically ransom you out to your father. Like, why didn't Weiss call her out on her bullshit and basically say, you can't do that, and I'll put the towers down? Like, basically call them out on their bullshit, but she acts like scared, as if like, oh yeah, like it's a horrible thing, no, I'm gonna go back to my father. It's like, Weiss, the towers, forget that in that moment of stupidity.
it's like, no, Wise, think of the people.
Alrighty, let's see.
Yeah, it's like one thing that always confused me in Volume 5. It's like, why didn't Weiss just call them out on their something? Like, does she really believe that the on or something? Like, it would have been fine if it was like, oh, Weiss just got a concussion or something like that, and that's why she's forgotten. You know?
Yeah.
But then you would have to. But then it's like, hold on, like that was a pretty big crash. Like, why didn't Weiss at least something?
No, yeah, plot armor.
I was gonna say aura, but then I'm like, no, her aura would have broken because like it managed to break when Vanol like literally just shot her laser pit. Yes, I did use that meme. Shoot me.
Yeah, but like, see, dead bodies, graffiti, like this is
Yeah.
we're building at its
Oh
finest.
yeah, remember Reach, yeah. Like, we only see that in Volume 7, but not the good kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically say like, yeah, because like in the first episode, like basically, it shows because like basically one of the graffiti is like show your teeth, and at first I thought it was like, oh, that's like White Fang, you know. It's like White Fang mine, but then Robin says the same thing like when she first appears, like okay girls, let's show them our teeth. And I'm like, wait, that's your line? That sounds like something the White Fang would say. Like, I mean, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised considering the whole racism plot line. But it's like, come on. Like, don't give me hope like that, you muppet.
Oh, by the way, that was a plasma mortar from a wraith, to be exact.
Well, your husband's dead.
Screw you, I'm out of here. Screw you, I'm out of here.
Stop pushing!
Sadie! Miss Endacia, is that you?
Commissioner Kinsler? Ow! Get off of me!
Officer Bradley, control this crowd before they trample her into the sidewalk.
Yes, sir. NMPD, everyone back off. I said back off. You hurt?
No. I'll be alright.
Bradley, get her inside.
Take my hand. You've got to go.
What the devil are you doing out in the old city?
There was something wrong with the train.
You don't say. I know all about Virgil and his overprotective urgency. Bradley, drive.
But yeah,
Yes, sir.
people are rioting now because of, Covenant invading.
Is at work.
Yeah.
Data center below the Oni building. No, I don't think so. There are too many Covenant in that district. I'd like to take
Aw.
somewhere much more private.
Oh, too much Covenant in the city. Oh. So, I'm guessing her dad doesn't meet a happy ending then?
Her father did not meet a happy ending. Sadie does.
Yeah.
Well, Sadie and
Okay.
Virgil.
Alright. Okay. That is pretty... Wait, how am I feeling more and more...
Sorry, what was that?
for a couple of data logs than I achieved for the entire Rwby Fap?
Because while Ruby's writers have played Halo, they do not understand Halo's world building at its finest.
See, use Halo as the red versus blue.
The
Yeah.
irony. And you got again.
Ooh, a supply camp has been
but-
unlocked.
But yeah, like some pretty good world building in Halo.
Yeah, and this is just ODST. With an ODST is the Halo. In Halo 3, they had stuff called terminals, and those terminals had text, which was an AI called Mendicant Bias, who betrayed his masters and decided to join the Flood during the time of the Forerunner Flood War, which is a rather bad thing, because he got infected with the something called the Logic Plague. It's how the Flood manages to take control of AIs.
Oh, okay.
And he was imprisoned on the Ark, which is the last final battle area of Halo 3. And when you're on the Ark, you start coming across terminals, and it's text of the past, but it also has the AI Mendicant Bias trying to talk to you, the player, or Chief in this particular instance.
Oh, okay.
Like, trying
But
to
yeah.
atone for his sins of the past.
Okay. But yeah. Like, how is it Ruby's, okay, because, like, Miles and Carrie, they claim that everything in Ruby has been planned from the beginning.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that
Right.
last part. What was it?
Okay, so according to Miles and Carrie, everything has been planned from the beginning.
Oh, that BS.
Yeah, like, that is a big bunch of bollocks I've ever heard. Like, first of all, because of who Monty was. Like, he was kind of a person known for just like putting things in at the last minute, you know?
Yeah.
Like like you put shit in at the last minute. Like hell, Neo was like probably the best example of this, where he basically, well, like because he didn't want to animate Roman um into like a bullhead, he basically like created Neo as a way to do that without having to animate it, you know?
Oh, getting him into the bullhead.
Yeah, like Neo something. And second of all, like with the whole election thing,
And
how would they have known? They have known what would happen in the election arc because Monty died in 2015.
you cut out.
Monty died in 2015, right?
Yeah, he did. In May.
Yeah, and the election was in 2016.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
How?
No one would know. You would have to ask, you would have to ask Miles about that. And did DJ leave?
I think maybe there's something wrong with his internet.
But another piece of world building I would like to add as we go through ODST. Remember how the previous terminals were that of cash machines and or ATMs and or some sort of ticket dispenser? The next terminal is literally a UNSC recruiting depot.
Oh, okay.
Because the next part is because Sadie's in police custody. And the police of New Mombasa are trying to help out the UNSC with the invasion of New Mombasa. So
So
yeah, there is a reason why for the UNSC to be a UNSC terminal to be highlighted. It's actually also one of the places that Sadie is trying to get to, a UNSC recruiting depot.
is she able to get there?
No, because remember, because Virgil stopped her from trying to enlist.
Oh yeah. But is she like able to enlist later after the Covenant's invasion, or is Virgil still like nope?
Technically, yes. In the book Halo New Blood, or it was either New or Old Blood. It was sorry. It was in Halo New Blood where it's revealed that Sadie became a Oni operative, but as a handler of Virgil, or the and spoilers again, but Virgil was sucked, took over an engineer that was set free from his bonds by his fellow brothers.
Ah.
I hope that hurts you, son of a bitch.
Oh, okay. So, like Sadie sort of becomes part of the USC, but not really.
Yes and no. Yes, because she's now an Oni operative, which is a scientific research as well as black op arm of the UNSC military. No, because she's not in a very active role other than being Virgil's handler.
Alright. So, like, is Virgil the more active of the two?
Huh?
So, like, is Virgil the more active of the two?
Yeah, he is the one that is currently that's going to help the UNSC after Halo 3.
Ah, okay. Alright, well that's a good thing.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. DJ, you wanna put in your your 2 pennies?
I don't know. You guys were having a good discussion. It's good to hear you two talk.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you know, but like stuff like this, it kind of shows you just how like it not only shows you just how good like these creators like thought of the world building in Halo, but also shows you just how inferior the world building of Ruby is.
Yeah. Like it's like the cool thing about Halo is you get these little details and they mean so. Like you try this on Ruby, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, like for example, the entire concept of the Grim, like I think is the best what like it's the best one. Like because like you know, Grim are attracted to negative emotion. So why are the people of Mantle rioting? They know that Grim are attracted to negative emotion. Being angry would just make things worse.
Also, like and I was watching a video about how Bumblebee is forced. She some little features in how Rooster Teeth created Bumblebee, like the soda pop and the soda pop bottle top.
Sorry about that, DJ, but you cut out.
Positions in every trailer. Like, oh, sorry.
It's alright, man.
Yeah, so I was saying, Long's video, how there are certain aspects of the world. He made trailers and stuff to signal Bumblebee, apparently. So,
Like, and also like I'm surprised like these idiots haven't called out like how come RT is being so subtle with Bumblebee yet was so blatant with Arcos. Because like I'm telling you this right now. He does care about their LGBT fandom. They would have already have had a gay couple in the series. They would have had it in there from the like. It doesn't even have to be one of the main characters. You could have just had it be like, oh, Ozpin is gay or something, or Ozpin is bisexual because like you know he had you know he has Salem or used to date Salem or something. Or like you could have had or hell you could have had like maybe one of the other students be gay or something. Like it's really like implementing gay characters is not really that hard to do. Like all you have to do is either show their boyfriend or and that's it, or just have them like staring at a guy's ass or kissing a guy or something. That's all you have to do. You don't need to do this subtle bullshit. At least shows like Korra, they like shows like Korra and Voltron. They had the excuse of saying that the network wouldn't allow us to do it. RT does not have that excuse. They are an independent company on YouTube. They do not get to hide behind, the company wouldn't. No, Rooster Teeth, you are your own fucking company. Like I said, if RT really did care about the LGBT fandom, they would have had a gay character in there from the beginning. They would have made Ozpin gay, or Glinda a lesbian, or hell, have Crow be bisexual or something. Like, anything.
They're using it's interesting. They always go to that after buzz video for everything. Like how, he confirmed that Bumblebee. Monty saying it on this after buzz video when they don't play the full clip, even though the full clip says it has to be earned. Like,
yeah, it's like, but like even then, it's like Monty. You don't really have to. You don't have to make it the main characters who are gay. You can make it like, hell, you can make it like their parents or something. Like, hell, maybe you could have had like Blake kind of be an orphan, and her two and the two people who raised her are like a couple, like are like of the same sex or something. You know, like you don't have to restrict your gay characters to just they have to be a part of the main cast. So like they don't have to. Like I would watch more. I would like for example one of my favorite so for example in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's like a very very good show. Like the gay character is a side character, like is kind of like the mentor figure, like he is the mentor figure, and and the way they portray his relationship, it's really fucking great. Like the guy isn't like his husband isn't just there just because he has to be the husband. They give him his own character, and you can kind of and like honestly the relationship between the two are really really adorable. Like it's how gay people should, like it's how LGBT people should be written. Like they shouldn't be portrayed as something special or anything. It's like it's just a character. They shouldn't be a gay character. It's a character who happens to, or a character who happens to be a lesbian, or a character who happens to be bisexual. Like it can't be, oh, this is a no, this is a transgender character. No, this is or whatever. It's just a character who happens to be of a different sexuality. That's how all characters should be.
Yeah.
It should be portrayed as a new like if it's like in like the real world, like if it's in like modern day, for example, in like the West, for example, it should be portrayed as a normal thing. It shouldn't be portrayed as like, oh wow, look at this, look how progressive we are, no. Because honestly, no one really gives a shit. Like the only reason why like intolerance for the LGBT community has been rising is because of how the left betrayed them. Like they betrayed them as something special, that they're better than straight people. Oh, you should treat them like fucking gods or something. When they shouldn't be. Like I'm bisexual. I don't want to be treated as like someone who's special. I just want to be treated as a woman who happens to be bisexual. Be treated as this. Oh, she's bisexual, so you have to praise her. You have to do this. You have to do that and shit. No, I'm just a woman who happens to like men and women. That's I like both ends of the gender spectrum. Like that's who I am. Like if you don't like it, like alright, just don't just don't diss me behind my back, or don't diss me behind my back.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Sorry, I went on that little rant there. I just hate the portrayal of LGBT people in comics and in most media in general, where it's for brownie points. Like they don't put any there, at all. Like they put the very minimum effort. Like they only give you hints of a relationship. They never show the relationship. Like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you see the relationship between Captain Holt and his husband. And it's honestly really comical, and when you see why these two would work for each other, like it's really nice. They are treated as two men who happen to be gay. They are not treated as something special or anything. Like Captain Holt, he tells his crew that he had endure quite a bit, not only because he was a black man in the police force, but he happened to be a police force. Like they touch on those issues, and yes, it is a comedy show, but it touches on those issues. Like hell, one where Terry, one of my favorite characters, he gets racially profiled, and Holt tells him to not press charges against the guy against the guy of racism because he is it would ruin his career. Tells him later it was wrong of me to say that because the way I was thinking, that was of a time long ago in the norm, but not anymore. You see him grow as a character, and some of his and honestly a lot of his like are some of, like, and a lot of his scenes are some of the funniest I've ever seen. So like, sorry, I know we're getting really off topic here. So like, for example, like there's one time where like he and his husband, like, they get into a bit of an argument over a game show, over math, basically. And like they get into, well, I say an argument. It's really them just tit-for-tatting each other, you know.
Yeah.
Basically saying, "Oh, do I have to teach you kindergarten maths or something like that?" Basically, like two of the characters are like, basically Rosa, like, basically says the math isn't the problem. It's, you know, the night shift is keeping you and Kevin apart. You two just need to bone. And like Hapsicle is like, "What did you say?" And Rosa's like, "I said you two need to bone." And he's like, "How dare you? I am your superior officer! Oh, what happens in my bedroom is business, detective. Do that again." Such a, I'll link it to you guys later, but it's such a funny scene.
I can tell.
Like, I laugh my ass. Like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a real, like, honestly, it should get more praise from the LGBT community, because this is a show that portrays LGBT representation perfectly. Like, they don't make a big deal out, like, you know, like, Rosa does have, like, a big, like, coming out episode where it's like she admits that she's bisexual, which, again, I fucking love, because I fucking love Rosa. But like, you know, but it's treated with, you know, and you see why she's afraid, and, you know, Holt, like, because he's a gay man, he is able to help Rosa with what is going on. Like, he's able to help her, like, come out. And when her parents don't approve of her liking women as well as men, Holt is there for her. Like, he says that, you know, it's tough, but you can get through this. And it's honestly a very, like, it's a comedy show, but it's a very hot scene. Like, more shows should take a page out of Brooklyn Nine-Nine's book and of how to properly represent LGBT people. Okay, I'm sorry for going on that little rant there, but
Nah, it's alright. It's perfectly
I
understandable.
like, I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine today, and I just need to get that off my chest. Like, I'm really sorry, guys. I know it's like a far cry from world building, but, you know, I just need to get that off my chest. I hope I didn't piss off anyone in the chat, though.
I wonder if anyone's actually watching us.
Oh yeah, someone is watching us. He said hello. Hello, Prince of Latveria.
Oh no.
I hope I didn't piss you off with my on LGBT representation and how shit it is in Rwby compared to Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Dang nabbit, I got hit by one of my own guys.
Ah, shit.
And I got hit by debris. And I got killed by a ghost. How quaint.
Wait, what was that echo?
I think that's just DJ.
Oh, okay. But what I'm trying to say is, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a very good show, and you all should start watching it right now. But yeah, like, speaking of world building, do you want to move on to Atlas?
Oh, good grief, Atlas. What have they done to you, my boys?
Look how they massacred my poor boy. Look how they... Boy. Yeah. Like, I feel like with the whole, like, Atlas on top, Mantle at the bottom, like, I feel like they were trying to, like, I feel like they were trying to accomplish what they did in Atlas. Again.
You mean what did they try to achieve in Mantle? Or,
sorry, Mantle.
Or Mistral.
Sorry, not Mistral. Yeah, sorry. Why am I saying Mantle? Yeah, in Mistral. Yeah, in a Mistral. Like, it feels like they were trying to accomplish what they failed at in Mistral. But yeah, it's like, okay, I don't really mind Atlas being like more authoritarian than, let's say, like Veil or even Mistral, you know? Like, I don't mind that at all. Because, like, you know, from what we see, like, the government, like, the military seems to run the government, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind. But I do have a problem with how, like, seemingly. Ah, shit. How do I describe this? How wrong the world goes. Like, find the words out of my mouth, really. Because it's like, they try and make it seem like there's a big, like,
They're trying to make another
doesn't-
statement about the rich and the poor.
yeah, it's like, okay, like, it's been done, yeah, and it's like, and it was like and like, by the time, you know, the whole protest thing that happened in, oh fuck, I can't remember which episode it was actually. I think it was basically when the heating stopped. So I think it was like episode 9 or something, episode 10.
Oh, when the final riots with the whatchamacallit, the for Pete's sake, it was when the weather system was turned off.
Yeah. Yeah, like, okay, so like, literally the day before, I had watched a movie called Parasite. It's a Korean movie for any of you who have seen it, and it does a much better job at showing the class divide in 2 hours than Rwby has in its entire run. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, like, it does a much better job at showing the class divide. Because you see the two families that are in the film, like, you see them both, and you see how the main, like, the main character's family, like, how they barely, like, can scrape enough to get by, and yet the rich family, like, they have all of this shit, and they're pretty ungrateful little shit. Like, I'm not saying that what happened to them in the film was justified. I'm not going to spoil it. Like, really bad things before both families, basically.
I'm
not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone who wants to watch it. In case, like, again, the movie is called Parasite. I recommend, like, if you want to, like, show us divide storyline, like, this is the film to watch. Like, it is a very good film. Again, it's made by Korean, so, you know, you're gonna have to watch it subbed, unfortunately. Unless you know Korean, in which case, lucky you. But it is a very good film. My brother and I, we loved it. In fact, he loved it so much, he has 2 fucking posters of it in his room.
Verses?
And he even,
Verses?
yeah, posters. And he has them framed. To put that in perspective, he never has anything framed.
Posters!
Over.
I kept hearing, like, purses.
No, he has posters of the film in his room, and he has them framed. And to put that in perspective, he never frames anything. Like, he never frames any posters. So, you know, so it shows just how much he loves the fucking film. Yeah, it's a very, very good film. I recommend anyone, like who wants to watch a good film, or even like who wants to learn class divide story, like, to show class divide storyline without the SJW nonsense. Watch that film. It is very, very good. But yeah, DJ, what do you think about Atlas? Oh shit, am I the only one here? Fuck. Well, shit, looks like I'm the only one here, guys. If there's anyone there in the chat, like, ask, like, you can, like, ask me some questions, of, like, what you want me to, talk about. Because I'm all alone right now. Hey, sup, Sonic, Johnson 10. Hey, I'm doing pretty well. I'm all alone on the live stream. Again, if you guys want to ask me anything about world building or anything like that, just like pop your questions in the chat down below.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, because like DJ's gone too, so I was just like telling anyone who was listening right now, like if they want to like ask me anything, like they can ask me right now.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Like, bring up the chat.
Yeah, unfortunately, only 2 people have just like commented, and they were just saying hello.
Oh.
Yeah. Still, you know, could be worse.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, but like, do you like know any good movies that settle class divides without doing it in a pretentious SJW way?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that?
So like, do you know any good films that kind of have a theme of like class division without like without that doesn't go the whole pretentious SJW route?
Can't say I do. However, I have watched Anne Frank.
Annie Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Oh, actually, I have one called The Race.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that one. I haven't watched it yet though.
Yeah, it's about the 1930 something Olympics, or it was either 1930s or 1940s Olympics. No, it would have to be in the 30s because World War II didn't start till about 39.
like World War II. Yeah, because like World War II kind of postponed the next Olympics.
Yeah, but yeah, during that, the Track League of America was thinking about pulling out because of how Nazi Germany was. But America, and quite a lot of other countries went anyway. And
because like the whole Olympics thing was kind of basically a Nazi propaganda regime, which is basically meant to show people the might and power of the Aryan race, and yet Germany got its ass kicked by I believe it was a black American, an African, a black American. Yeah, I remember that because like when the Olympics came to London, there were like school kids who were chosen as like primary Olympic ambassadors, and well, guess who was one of them?
A German?
What? No, I was a primary Olympic ambassador when the Olympics came here to England, to the UK.
You were? Now that's an interesting story.
I wasn't like much of anything. We were just learning about the Olympics, really. Like, honestly, it felt more like a thing for the kids to do and to just get us hyped for the Olympics rather than like anything important per se.
I see.
Yeah. Again, but it was like a fun thing to do. I managed to get a few days off school to learn more about history, which was a subject I enjoyed. So so I felt like it worked out for me in the end. I mean, like, my friends, like, they were a bit mad that I was chosen and not her, but you win some, you lose some. Yeah, but like back to the topic at hand. But yeah, like I remember hearing about that in that thing where they were talking about the Olympics and how like Hitler essentially used it as his own propaganda campaign, essentially.
Yeah. He also used a boxing match to show the might and power of the German Aryan race, but he only won one match. Like, one fight, their German man did win.
Mm-hmm.
It was the second match that basically made the boxer from Germany practically dead in a sense.
Yeah.
Because he was used as a propaganda piece, but the minute he lost, he was considered dead to Germany.
Yeah.
And it's like he had no name.
Yeah, like it was kind of disturbing in a way, like how, because like Germany did end up losing a lot, but like it in a way showed the countries like how militaristic Germany was. I'm really surprised no country was like, okay, this is like, I mean, maybe the leaders thought it, but they never really voiced it in a way.
Like, despite the treaty of Versailles saying that Germany had to demilitarize quite a lot, it's surprising that they managed to remilitarize so much.
Yeah, like it was really I think it was really the fear of having another war that really stopped, because Winston Churchill, like, he was very vocal about Hitler rearming. Like, he was like, we need to do something now, but no one listened to him because at the time, I know, like, people were saying, why didn't they listen to Winston Churchill? But like, at the time, he was kind of considered like
controversial.
Yeah, especially because like before he was a socialist, then he turned to a conservative. Plus his like army record kinda wasn't that great, honestly. Like, but like he was very vocal about like going to war, and of course everyone else is very vocal about not going to war. So of course Chamberlain took appeasement more, like took the road of appeasement, and
which sadly only emboldened Germany.
Yeah, because like he put
shit, because they knew that the UN couldn't do anything, especially with the Prime Minister who was in charge of the UN at the time.
Yeah, and like the UK, like essentially Chamberlain, like in Churchill's own view, like he was a coward essentially because of how much he kept on appeasing Hitler. It's like, no, we need to go to war. Like, in Churchill's own words, you cannot deal with a tiger when you're in its mouth. And yeah, it was like, and like, if I'm being completely honest, like, I only think the reason Chamberlain made that whole, oh, if you invade Poland, we're going to war. Like, I think he only did that because he really didn't think Hitler was actually going to do it.
And yet he did.
Yeah.
We're all signing another treaty behind the Russians' back that, okay, Russia, we don't want to start the shit with you, so we're going to give you half the land if you do not come to us. And Russia was like, okay, as they both lied as they both lied as they breathed, with pistols.
Because let's be honest, Russia.
You cut off
It
there.
was just that Germany. Oh, I was just saying that. Let's be honest. We all know Russia was going to. The Soviet Union was going to betray Germany at some point. Germany just got the betrayal first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, but yeah, yeah, but like, thankfully, after like many losses in France, like the Labour and the Conservatives got so fed up that they were like, okay, right, we'll get Winston Churchill then. And like, no one expected him to be so successful because it's like he was the mouth, like, because like he was like the. Well, I would like to say he was I believe the best way to kind of sum up Churchill is that he was the snark, wit, and like he was kind of the snark and wit of the British people. Because if you know anything about Britain, you know how smart arsey we can get, you know. And I think in some ways
ingrained in your blood.
Yeah, and I think in some ways Churchill embodied that to a T. Like, you know,
he was literally Britain's only backbone.
Well, yeah, and then of course like you had the royal family as well. Like the reason, because like at the time the royal family like their popularity was sort of dwindling at the time, mostly because of King Edward VI. Because of course like. I'm not sure if you know this, but King Edward VI was a bit of a Nazi sympathizer. Him and his new wife, so Wallis Simpson, and of course, like many people in the British court, like they did not approve of him. Yeah. And like the whole divorce thing with Wallis, kind of a way to get him off the throne without like causing a big uproar, without like causing panic to the British. Because of course, like in Britain, like Hitler wasn't really that popular, you know. Like, but of course, like if the people were to learn that their own king like agreed with Hitler, you know, like how much panic would that cause, you know? And especially when you consider the state of Europe at the time, with the Russian Tsar like essentially and his family being massacred, France's royalty was killed centuries. Spain's royal family were exiled after the Spanish Civil War, which ended, ironically enough, at when World War when World War II started, ironically enough. And then of course you have the Kaiser, who was the royal family of Germany, but of course had to abdicate after World War I failed for Germany anyway. So yeah, the British monarchy, they were really worried about their position because like the other European royal families, they were either dead or gone, you know. Yeah. So when King George the Sixth, if I remember, King George the Sixth, when he came into power, like, while he was more like than his brother, it was still kind of royal family and shit, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, his decision to kind of stay in Britain, because he was told many times, like, go to Canada, like stay in Canada, because like, you know, we don't know if they will try and bomb Buckingham Palace, you know. In fact, there were many attempts to bomb Buckingham Palace to like kill the royal family. In fact, there was even a rumor at the time that if Hitler won the battle he would have reinstated Edward King George's brother, Edward, the Nazi sympathizer, because of course having a Nazi sympathizer king would have been, you know, very
convenient.
Yes. Especially when he was so, in his words, cruelly abdicated. Plus, you know, the family of the current, like the Queen's husband, Prince Philip. His families were also Nazi sympathizers, and in fact, if I remember correctly, he's I think his sister's funeral was actually held in Nazi Germany.
Hey, guys, I gotta go.
Oh shit, you scared me there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I gotta go. It's getting a bit darker around my end, so.
Alright.
Oh yeah, I actually have to go because it's getting a bit light around my end. It's morning.
Alright. Well,
Alright, so yeah, I hope you liked that history lesson, guys.
that was a very interesting history lesson.
Yep.
Thank you. It's not very often that I get to show my love of history.
Yeah, I like history too. It's just hard to
Oh,
focus because of how boring it can actually get.
Oh well, I don't think it's boring. I think it's nice. Oh, actually, we have some.
Well, I guess it's just the way it's taught is taught in a very boring way.
Well, for me, it was. Oh yeah. Oh, in England, we had a show called Horrible Histories, and that's how I learned history. It was like I'll show you some clips after I go to. Like, I'll show you some clips before I go to sleep. But
I used to love the animated version.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, we have some questions in chat. Shit. So what are your thoughts on Ruby and Yang's parents?
A bunch of idiots.
Ty's a cook, and Summer Rose is probably Salem.
Uh-huh.
I think they're irrelevant because honestly, you could write them both out of the story and nothing would change.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like Volume 7, we get this like Ruby's crying because she's reminded of her mother, and I'm like, bitch, what was this care before Volume 7? Like, if it was like constantly brought up that like, you know, Summer Rose, like hell, maybe like, you know, you can have Ruby be compared to Summer Rose because she literally looks like her, and she gets so fucking fed up because it's like, I'm not Summer Rose, I'm Ruby Rose, I'm my own fucking person, and I'm gonna fucking prove it by becoming the best huntress there is. In fact, that's could have been Ruby's motive. She's so sick and tired of being compared to her mother that like she's gonna make her own name for herself. She's gonna be Ruby Rose, the best huntress who ever lived. That could have been a great reason as to why Ruby became a huntress.
Yeah.
But no, like you get nothing of Summer until literally the end of Volume 6 and then Volume 7, and even then it's just like one mention and then a shot of Summer being sad, being mopey.
Well, sad and/or very much smiling because, you know, at the end of Volume 6, you see Ruby, who should be too young at the time to have even remembered her face, see her mother smiling.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do not like how Summer was used in this show at all.
Seriously, she is just my mom is dead. Like, but they don't really have like anything else because like usually the mysterious parent is like, oh, something happened to them. Like my father / mother was a part of something or something like that. Like hell,
Harry Potter.
in Harry Potter, and hell in Naruto. Like whilst Naruto's parents weren't exactly addressed very much, like you knew Naruto was an orphan, and you saw how much this affected him, you know. And then of course you learned about how his dad was the fourth Hokage. And, you know, and, like, when Naruto first sees him, like, the first instinct he has is to punch him in the gut. Because he's so mad at his father for giving him the 9 tails and for essentially ostracizing him out of the village. Like, while his dad had good intentions, and I'm sure he didn't expect to die, like, on the day his son was born, like, his actions still caused pain that Naruto had to carry for 12 years. You know, like, that shit just doesn't go away just like that. And of course, like, he explained himself and Naruto understood. But it kind of showed us, like, well, Naruto, like, he now understands, like, you know, he was initially pissed at his dad. And then, of course, we meet his mom and that scene where she just explains, like, how she met Minato and everything. It's just, I fucking love Minato and Kushina as a couple. Why couldn't they have lived?
Because they had too many death flags. Much
Yeah.
like Kira, who still magnetized everything and still got more death flags.
Yeah. Okay, oh, hold on. We have another question. Can you guys recall if Team Juniper and Ruby have ever interacted with each other? Because there seems to be a disconnect between the characters. They don't feel like friends. That is so true.
At Beacon, they did have a couple of interactions, but not as many. Like, Volume 1 and 2, that's it. Volume 1 and 2, and then you do get a little bit of Volume 3, and then that's it. Like, there's a disconnect after Volume 3. Like, everything, the game basically changed when Volume 3 came out. That's it. Like, after Volume 3, you just go, what the fuck, man? Like, there's not really that much interaction. Like, personally, I wanted to see more conflict between Ruby and Juniper after Volume 3. Like, maybe Jean blames Ruby for not saving Pyrrha quick enough. Or maybe, Team Juniper not telling Ruby not telling Ruby getting angry at Juniper for having maiden powers, being chosen for the maiden powers kind of thing. You know, like something that could have may have a little conflict between them. But no, they didn't have that conflict. You do get the little bit of conflict in volume 6 between when Jean goes like, "Oh, Oscar." And when Jean shoves Oscar to the wall and he tries to go like, how do we know we can trust him and stuff, and then Ruby goes, Jean, and Jean leaves that, and that's it. And then Jean later on apologizes to Oscar. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a funny thing. I'm not sure if you guys in the chat or in the guys, but there is a video out there that actually, before Volume 7, has the number of times that Blake and Ruby have interacted. Do you want to know how long it goes for?
10 seconds.
Technically it's 9 seconds because YouTube add like another second. But yeah, two of the main girls have interacted for less than 10 seconds. Granted, it's before Volume 6, so you know there are like some scenes that are not included in there. But even still, two of the main 4 girls have not interacted with each other for more than 9 seconds in 6 whole volumes. I think that in itself pretty much like shows you just how badly these like Team Ruby is as a team, because they don't feel like a team.
Yeah.
They feel like a bunch of frat girls who met each other up for one summer and didn't want to let go. That's what it feels like.
And then you also have Mero pointing out the fact like, hey, Blake, yeah, you two are just hanging out way too much. Why don't you just spend time with your other teammates? And then, as if in a fit of rage, they killed More Grim and then gave him a look of, how dare you say we should separate?
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, they tried to separate, remember?
Like, it would have been great if them not be... Because, like, it would have been great if, like, them being so close to each other and then all of a sudden being separated from one another, like, screwed them over. So let's say Yang goes with Weiss and Blake goes with Ruby. And like, because, you know, Blake and Yang haven't spent as much time around their team, and Weiss and Ruby haven't spent as much time around the Bumblebee crew, like, you know, when they try and fight, they are out of order, you know? They are, like, not as well polished, you know?
They're not in sync given the fact that they spent 9 months apart from one another.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry guys, I gotta go. I really gotta
me
go.
too. Yeah, me too, because, like, it's getting light out here.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
Sorry, but, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry sorry we can't answer more questions in the chat. Maybe next time, guys. I really am sorry for you guys in the chat.
Yeah.
Alright, well, anyways, that is the end of Rwby Fap number 6.
I hope you guys enjoyed us, like, mumbling, ranting, and just basically giving our, like, hot takes, essentially.
Hey, look on the bright side. We're mumbling more than the mumble rappers.
Alright. It's been great talking to you guys. Hope you guys have a nice night. Or nice morning.